கோயம்புத்தூர் கலைமகள் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் சார்பாக ஆனந்தியின் அன்பு வணக்கம். இப்போ நம்ம 10th மேக்ஸ்ல யூனிட் 1ல நேற்றைய செஷன்ல ரெப்ரசன்டேஷன் ஆஃப் அ ஃபங்க்ஷன், டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஃபங்க்ஷன் பார்த்தோம். இன்னைக்கு அதனுடைய கண்டினியூஷனை பார்க்கலாம். ஓகே, ஸோ until yesterday's class we have studied representation of a function and types of function. Under representation of a function we have seen how a function can be represented in 4 different ways, namely arrow diagram, tabular form, a set of ordered pairs, and then the graph. And then in the type of functions again we have seen 4 different types. The first one was one-to-one, the second many-to-one, the third on-to function, and one more function we have seen one-to-one, many-to-one, on-to function and into function. So like that we have seen 4 different functions. Now we will see the examples, some more examples related to the concepts what we have learnt earlier. Now getting into example 1.13. Here set A is given as 1, 2, 3. Set B is 4, 5, 6, 7. And the collection of the elements of the function f is 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6. Be a function from A to B. What is the question asked? We need to show that f is one-to-one but not onto function. We are supposed to show that f is one-to-one function but it is not onto. How to show? Write set A. Set A is 1, 2, 3 and B 4, 5, 6, 7 and whatever function they have given you take and write. Now we can prove this with the help of an arrow diagram. Now draw the arrow diagram. Write set A, set B and write the elements within the set. As per the given data, as per the elements given here, 1 is mapped to 4, 1 to 4, 2 should be mapped to 5, 3 should be mapped to 6. Now we say that this is a function. Why? Because each element in set A has an image in set B. That is the first condition. And second condition, all the elements here have a distinct image in B. So both the conditions for a function is satisfied. Therefore we say f is a function from A to B. But the question here is whether it is one-to-one and it should not be onto. Now one-to-one. You see here, if you take set A, all these elements have different images here. So different elements in A have different elements in set B. Therefore, we say that this function is one-to-one function. For different elements in A, there are different images in B. Now, next we need to prove it is not onto. How to prove that it is not onto? The element 7, if you see, it is not having any pre-image in set A. It is not having pre-image in set A. So, we come to know that the range will be 4, 5, 6, whereas the codomain will be 4, 5, 6, 7. இல்லைங்களா? ரேஞ்ச் பார்க்குறப்போ நம்ம இதை 4, 5, 6 ஏன்னா அது மட்டும்தான் மேப் ஆயிருக்கு. கோடமைன்னு சொல்றப்போ 4, 5, 6, 7 எல்லா எலிமெண்ட்ஸும் வரும். இங்க range is not equal to codomain. புரியுதுங்களா? அப்படியும் சொல்லலாம் அல்லது 7க்கு இங்க pre-image இல்ல. So in both the ways we can tell and hence we say that this is not an onto function. So in this example we see that f is one-to-one but it is not onto. Now going into next example, example 1.14. Here again the elements of set A is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. F is a function from A to B. Is an onto function. Children please listen. Here they themselves they have told that f is an onto function. This is the hint you should remember. Okay, f is an onto function. That is a hint. And the function is defined by f of x equal to x square plus x plus 1. If this is the function defined, we need to find b. What is that? See here, they have given set A. Have they given set B? Have they? No. So we need to find. How we will find the elements of set B? With the clue that it is an onto function. Okay. So first write set of elements belonging to set A, and you write f is a function from A to B, and this is an onto function, and you can write the function also. F of x equal to x square plus x plus 1. Now let me see how to do that. They have given the elements of set A, isn't it? So what we need to do is, we have to take those elements, substitute in the given function, and then we can get the elements of set B. See here, I have written f of x equal to x square plus x plus 1. This is the given function. Okay, and in set A they have given some elements, isn't it? Set A la elements கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. அந்த ஒவ்வொரு எலிமெண்ட்டையும் எடுத்து இங்க x க்கு பதிலா போடணும். In the place of x, we need to substitute those elements. So f of minus 2. First write minus 2. Wherever x is there all you have to substitute minus 2. Minus 2 square plus minus 2 plus 1. When you simplify this, minus 2 squared becomes 4, plus into minus minus 2 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 minus 2 is 3. Now again you substitute minus 1. When you substitute minus 1 here, what will happen? Minus 1 square plus minus 1 plus 1. Minus 1 squared is 1. Plus into minus minus 1 plus 1. Plus 1 minus 1 will get cancelled. So or otherwise 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. Next you need to substitute 0. So 0 square plus 0 plus 1. The answer will be 1. Next you need to substitute 1. 1 square plus 1 gives you 3. Next you substitute 2. 2 square plus 2 plus 1. After simplification you get 7. Now children, this is the input and this will be the output, isn't it? So for these elements, these are the images. For minus 2 the image is 3. For minus 1 the image is 1. For 0 also the image is 1. For 1 also the image is 3. So minus 2 and 1 are having the same image 3. Minus 1 and 0 are having the same image 1. And 2 has the image 7. Okay. So now let us write the range. What will be the range? Whatever is the output, that will be the range. Yes or no? So here what will be the range? 1, 3 and 7. So I am writing the range here. 1, 3, 7. And this is here, we need to use the clue. What is the clue? They said f is an onto function. Did they? Do you remember? Yes. So if f is an onto function, what is that we have studied already? We know that the range will be equal to codomain. Yes or no? F onto-வா இருந்தா நம்ம என்ன படிச்சிருக்கோம்? Range வந்து codomain-க்கு equal னு படிச்சிருக்கோம். இப்போ range என்ன கிடைச்சிருக்கு? 1, 3, 7. So range will be equal to codomain. Therefore, the same elements 1, 3, 7 will become the set of elements in the codomain, which is nothing but set B. So this is how we need to find the elements of set B. Codomain irundhadana set B. So set B kani elements da vandu 1, 3, 7. Am I clear kana? Yes? Okay. Now we will pass on to example 1.15. Let f be a function from natural numbers to natural numbers. So here the function is from natural numbers to natural numbers. And it is defined by, what is the definition given? F of x is equal to 3x plus 2. This is the rule given. And 3 questions are asked. Let us try to find. What is the first question? Find the images of 1, 2, 3. You need to find the image for the elements 1, 2 and 3. Second one, find the pre-image. What are we supposed to find? Pre-image. For which elements we are supposed to find pre-image? For 2 elements. What are they? 29 and 53. What is the third one? of function. We need to identify what type of function is this. So let us see one by one. Now we will go to the first one. They are telling f is a function from natural numbers to natural numbers. And they have told the rule for f of x is 3x plus 2. Because they say this is natural number, we all know the natural number will start with 1. So 1, 2, 3, it keeps going. Now let us get into subdivision 1, where we need to find the images of 1, 2 and 3. Are you all ready? Yes. Now you write f of x is equal to, what is the rule given here, Kana? F of x equal to 3x plus 2, isn't it? So write that f of x equal to 3x plus 2. Now in the place of x, what are we going to write? We need to take numbers from the natural numbers. So let me start from 1, and moreover we want the image for 1, 2 and 3. So I am writing 1 here. You substitute 1 in the place of x. 3 into 1 plus 2, 3 plus 2 is 5. Next 2, 3 into 2 plus 2, 6 plus 2 is 8. Next 3, 3 into 3 plus 2, 9 plus 2, 11. So 1, 2, 3 க்கு images கேட்கறதுனால நம்ம f of xல எங்க x இருக்கோ அங்க நம்ம first 1 substitute பண்ணி 5 கிடைக்குது. Next 2 substitute பண்ணி 8 கிடைக்குது. அடுத்தது 3 இதல substitute பண்ணா 11 கிடைக்குது. So we say the image of 1 is 5, the image for 2 is 8 and the image for 3 is 11. Alright? Next one. Next one, we are supposed to find the pre-image of 29 and 53. Let me first find the pre-image of 29. Okay. Let x, we don't know what is the pre-image. Do you know what is the pre-image of 29? You don't know, right? So, let us assume x to be the pre-image of 29. So, if x is the pre-image of 29, how to write this? F of x equal to 29. This concept we have learnt in our previous classes. Whenever we need to write an element and its image, if A is the element and B is the image, how to write that? F of A is equal to B. This is the format. Okay. So here x is the pre-image of 29. So how you will write? X is the element and 29 is the image. Or you can say 29 is the image and x is the pre-image. So how to write that? F of x equal to 29. But from the given sum, we know that f of x is 3x plus 2. So in the place of f of x, substitute 3x plus 2. So what you will get? 3x plus 2 equal to 29. Keep 3x here, take plus 2 to the other side, it becomes minus 2. So 3x equal to 29 minus 2 gives you 27. X is equal to 27. Take this 3 to the other side, it becomes divided by 3. So 27 divided by 3, the value for x is 9. From this we understand that the pre-image of 29 is 9. Hope you all have understood. We need to use the same procedure to find the pre-image of the next number also. Okay. The next number is 53. Again, I am going to assume the pre-image of 53 as x. Understood? The same procedure. I am going to assume the pre-image of 53 as x. So how I will write? F of x equal to 53. Like we write f of a equal to b. Here I am writing f of x equal to 53. But from the given sum, I know that f of x is 3x plus 2. So substitute. Keep 3x, bring minus 2, plus 2 to the other side, it becomes minus 2. 3x will be 53 minus 2 is 51. X will be 51. This 3, when it goes to the other side, it becomes divided by 3. So 51 divided by 3, the answer is 17. So from this we understand the pre-image of 53 will be 17. Have you got it? Yes, children. Now, the third subdivision of this question is we need to identify what type of function it is. Okay. We say that this function is 1 to 1. Why we say like that? Because whenever you give 1, you are getting one image. When you substitute 2, you are getting a different number. When you substitute 3, you are getting a different number. So from that we understand for different elements in A, we are getting different images in B. Okay. So for each element, there is a different image. Hence we say the function is 1 to 1. Alright. Okay. This cannot be on to children. You know why? Because when we saw in the previous page, when I substituted 1, okay, when I substituted 1 in f of x, what answer I got? I got 5. When I substituted 2, I got 8. When I substituted 3, I got 11. Which means the range will be 5, 8, 11, 14, 17. It keeps going. This will be the range. But what will be the codomain? The function is from natural numbers to natural numbers. So all the natural numbers will be there in the codomain. So codomain will have all the natural numbers, whereas in the range we will have only the output numbers. What are the output numbers? 5, 8, 11, 14, 17. Now see here, is the range equal to codomain? Is it equal? No. Therefore, this function cannot be onto. இங்க நமக்கு கிடைக்கிற range நம்ம substitute பண்ணி பார்த்தோம்னா numbers f of x ல substitute பண்ணி பார்த்தால் என்ன numbers நமக்கு output கிடைக்குது 5 8 11 14 17 அதுதான் நம்மளுடைய range. ஆனா function வந்து எப்படி இருக்குது? natural numbers to natural numbers ஆ இருக்கு. அப்போ கோடோமைன்ல எல்லா natural numbers இருக்கும். அப்ப நம்ம இப்ப ரேஞ்சையும் கோடோமைனையும் கம்பேர் பண்ணி பார்த்தா ரெண்டும் ஈக்குவல் கிடையாது. அது ரெண்டும் ஈக்குவல் இல்லைன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கலி அது வந்து ஒரு onto ஃபங்க்ஷனா இருக்க முடியாது. Therefore, the given function is 1 to 1 but not onto. Not onto ன்னு சொல்றதும் ஒண்ணுதான், into ன்னு சொல்லிக்கிறதும் ஒண்ணுதான். Have you all understood? Yes. Now getting into example 1.16. Forsenic scientists can determine the height in centimeters of a person based on the length of their thigh bone. Forsenic scientist means they are the person who will help in the investigation department with all the remains of the dead bodies or with the remains of whatever a crime or something has been done. There will be some remains. இல்லைங்களா? சில பொருட்கள் அல்லது சில விஷயங்கள் விட்டு போயிருப்பாங்க. கைரேகைகள், அப்புறம் அவங்களுடைய முடியோ இல்ல அவங்களுடைய பொருட்கள், அதை வச்சு யார் இந்த நபர் அப்படின்னு கண்டறிவாங்க. அவங்க தான் வந்து ஃபோர்செனிக் சயின்டிஸ்ட். இப்போ இந்த சம்ல ஃபோர்செனிக் சயின்டிஸ்ட் வந்து என்ன பண்றாங்க? thigh bone, ஒருத்தருடைய தொடையினுடைய அந்த எலும்பை கொண்டு அந்த நம்ம இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு சம் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ல பார்த்தோம் இல்லைங்களா? ஒரு பெண்மணியினுடைய கையினுடைய அளவை வச்சு அவங்களுடைய ஹைட்டை பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா? more or less it is of that kind. Okay, இங்க with the help of the length of the thigh bone, ஒருத்தருடைய தொடையினுடைய bone எலும்பினுடைய அளவை வச்சு அவங்களுடைய ஹைட்டை நம்ம கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம். So அந்த சம்ல they usually do so using the function. இதுக்கு நம்ம function கண்டுபிடிக்க வேண்டியது இல்ல. அவங்களே அந்த thigh boneக்கு உடைய லென்த்துக்கும் ஒரு மனிதனுக்கு உடைய உயரத்துக்கும், the relation between the thigh bone's length and the height of a person is given here by this equation. What is this? H of B equal to 2.47B plus 54.10, where B is the length of the thigh bone. இந்த B இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா? this B is the length of the thigh bone. Thodai elumbinudaiya length, adanudaiya alavu dhaan vandu indha B. So when you substitute B, value of B here, you will know the height of the person. H is the height of the person. Okay, Kanna? Now there are 3 questions for us to answer. The first is check if the function H is 1 to 1. First question is we need to check whether the given function in terms of H is a 1 to 1 function. This is one. Second, find the height of the person if the thigh bone is 50 centimeters. Suppose a person is having a thigh bone of 50 centimeters. We are supposed to find his height. Next, find the length of the thigh bone if the person's height is 147.96 centimeters. So if the person's height is 147.96 centimeters, we are supposed to find the thigh bone. More or less similar to the sum we have seen in the example. Okay. Now let us see. Now they have given here the function h of b is equal to 2.47b plus 54.10. What is the function they have given, children? H of b is equal to 2.47b plus 54.10. And what is asked? The first question asked here is H a 1 to 1 function? We need to find out if H is a 1 to 1 function. How to find out whether this is 1 to 1? Children, when we have seen the definition of 1 to 1 function, we have learnt that if a function has to be 1 to 1, for all elements in set A, you can take A1, A2, A3, whatever it is you can take. F of A1 when it is equal to F of B1, it implies A1 should be equal to A2. Whenever F of A1 is equal to F of A2, A1 should be equal to A2. So that concept I am going to use here. நம்ம ஏற்கனவே படிச்சிருக்கோம் ஒரு function 1 to 1 இருக்கணும்னா F of A1 equal to F of A2 இருக்கும் பொழுது A1 should be equal to A2 னு. So அதெல்லாம் இங்க நான் இப்போ அப்ளை பண்ண போறேன். Now I am going to assume H of B1 is equal to H of B2. What is that I am going to assume? H of B1 is equal to H of B2. Now what is H of B1? We know what is H of B, isn't it? They have given. So in the place of B, let me write B1. B ku badala B1. So I will write 2.47 B1 plus 54.10 is equal to H of B2. So wherever I am having B, I will write B2. So I will write 2.47 B2 plus 54.10. Have you understood? Now what happens? Both the sides I can cancel 54.10. So what is remaining? 2.47 B1 is equal to 2.47 B2. Again I can cancel 2.47 on both these sides. So what is left? B1 is equal to B2. So when I assumed H of B1 equal to H of B2, I got the answer as B1 equal to B2. Okay. So since I am getting B1 is equal to B2, when H of B1 equal to H of B2, I conclude this function is 1 to 1 function. Hope you all have understood. This is from the definition of 1 to 1. This is a concept from that definition. Whenever a function is 1 to 1, you have to compare two elements. Okay. F of A1 when it is equal to F of A2, then A1 should be equal to A2. That is, when two outputs are equal, definitely the inputs also should be equal. If that is the case, we say that the function is 1 to 1. Okay, now let us get into subdivision 2. They have given the length of the thigh bone as 50 centimeters. We are supposed to find the height of the person. So how to find the height of the person? This is the equation given for the height of the person. Now in the place of B, I am supposed to substitute 50. What is B? What is B? B is the length of the thigh bone. Yes, length of the thigh bone. So let me substitute the value 50 for B. So h of 50 is equal to 2.47. In the place of B, I am substituting 50 plus 54.10. When you multiply, you will get 123.50 plus 54.10. When you add, you will get 176.60. So from this, what you understand? When a person has a thigh bone of length 50 centimeter, the height of the person will be 177.6 centimeters. Am I clear? Yes. Now the next question, if you see, ulta, vice versa they have given. They have given the height of the person as 147.96 and we are supposed to find the thigh bone's length. Height of a person is 147.96. Height of a person is denoted by h of b, isn't it? So h of b is 147.96. Now what is h of b? As per the given sum, it is 22.47b plus 54.10 is equal to 147.96. You keep the b term alone here. 2.47b alone, you keep it on one side and bring this plus 54.10 to the other side. It becomes minus 54.10. Now you subtract these. 147.96 minus 54.10. When you subtract, what answer you are getting? 93.86. Keep b here. 2.47, when it goes to the other side, it gets reciprocated. It is 2.47. Now both are decimal numbers. Let me remove the decimal numbers so that it will be easy. So because we are having how many digits after decimal number? How many digits? Yes, 2 digits. We are having 2 digits, isn't it? So let me multiply by 100 both the numerator and the denominator, so that now I will come out of the decimal. 9386 divided by 247. For your convenience, I have done the division here. You can have a look. When it is divided by 247, the answer is 38. So what we can conclude? We can conclude that if the height of the person is 147.96 centimeter, the length of the thigh bone will be 38 centimeters. Children, am I clear to you all? Yes? Yes. Now, there is an activity for you. Activity number 3. We are supposed to check whether the curves represent a function. In the previous class itself, we have learnt about the vertical line test and horizontal line test. Let me do a small recall. To check whether the curve is a function, you need to draw a vertical line. If the vertical line intersects the curve, that is meets the curve at one point, we say the curve is a function. Now coming to horizontal line test. If a horizontal line meets the curve at one point alone, then we say that function will be a one-to-one function. This is what we have studied. Please recall. Now we are supposed to find whether the curves are function. This is the first thing that we need to do. Next, if it is a function, we need to check if it is one-to-one. So two things we need to do. First, we need to check whether the curve is a function. And the second thing we should check if it is a function. Only if it is a function, we need to check whether that is a one-to-one function. Alright, shall we do? Yes. Now going into the first question. Now I have drawn the curves in blue color. Black color is the axis. X-axis, Y-axis. Blue color, what I have drawn is the curve. See, I am drawing a vertical line. In how many places the vertical line is touching the curve? In only one place. Therefore, the curve is a function. So now, because this is a function, let me check whether it is one-to-one. I am drawing a horizontal line. In how many places it is touching? See, many places the horizontal line is touching the curve. So, can it be a one-to-one function? No, children, it cannot be one-to-one because the horizontal line touches the function in at more than one place. Okay, so this is how we need to check whether the given curve is a function. If it is a function, then we need to check whether this is one-to-one or not. Now, let us get into the second one. Again, you see, this blue color line is the curve over here, the graph over here. I am drawing a vertical line. How many places it is getting intersected? Only one place. Therefore, this is a function. Now, to the same graph, let me draw a horizontal line. See, in how many places the horizontal line is touching the blue color curve? Again, only one place. So, this is a function and this is also a one-to-one function. Why? Because the horizontal line touches the curve at one place only. Now, let me go to the third subdivision. Children, can you see a curve like this? One slanting S-like? Yes. Now, draw the vertical line. In how many places it is getting intersected? Only one place. At one point only. At one point it is getting intersected. Therefore, this is a function. Okay, now let me check if it is one-to-one. Draw a horizontal line. Again, in how many points it is getting intersected? Only one point. See here, can you see, ma? Yes. Therefore, this is one-to-one function. Now, let us see the fourth one. Can you see a parabola? Okay, it is open towards your left hand side. Can you see a curve? Now draw the vertical line. Children, can you see the vertical line intersects the curve at how many places, Kanna? 2 places. So it is intersecting at more than one place. No use. So it is not a function. If it is not a function, then what is the need for checking whether it is one-to-one or not? Okay. So simply write that this is not a function. Is it clear? Very simple, no? Very easy to understand also. Just by vertical line and horizontal line, we can check whether this is a function and one-to-one also. One more. Can you see a spiral like curve over here? Yes, children. Now draw a vertical line. Up. See here, this vertical line. How many places it is meeting? P, Q, R, S, T. So many places it is intersecting the curve. So definitely this is not a function. So there is no need for finding whether it is one-to-one or not. Now there is a V-shaped curve over here. Draw a vertical line. Super. This vertical line is meeting the curve at only one place. Very good. So this is a function. If this is a function, then I need to check whether this is one-to-one or not. So what I will do? I will draw a horizontal line. But this horizontal line is touching in how many places? 2 places. No use. This is a function, but this is not a one-to-one function. Now, already we have seen 4 different types of function. What are they? Let us recall. One-to-one, many-to-one, on-to, and into. 4 different types we have seen. Now, there are some more special cases of function. What are they? Constant, identity, real valued function. So, let us see one by one. First is constant function. A function from A to B is called constant if the range contains only one element. என்னது? rangeல ஒரே ஒரு element மட்டும் தான் இருக்கணும். அப்படினா என்னது கண்ணா? எல்லா elementsக்கும் ஒரே ஒரு image மட்டும் இருக்கணும். அப்படி இருந்தா அதுக்கு பேரு constant function. F அப்படின்னு ஒரே ஒரு எலிமெண்ட் மட்டும் தான் இமேஜா இருக்கணும் எல்லா எலிமெண்ட்ஸுக்கும். ஓகே, let us see with a diagram. Let us try to understand this concept with a diagram. See here, come down. There is an illustration number 16. Check whether f is a constant function. Children, they have given the elements of set A as A, B, C, D. So draw and write the elements. For B again they have given 1, 2, 3, draw. Now as per the function, as per the collection they have given for this function, I am going to map. What is it given? A should be mapped to 3, B to 3, C to 3, D to 3. So all the elements of set A is getting mapped to one single element in set B. எல்லா எலிமெண்ட்ஸும் ஒரே ஒரு எலிமெண்ட் கூட போய் மேப் ஆகுது. So every element in A, Aல இருக்கிற எல்லா எலிமெண்ட்டுக்கும் ஒரே ஒரு இமேஜ் தான் B ல இருக்கு. Therefore we say the range of F, இதோட ரேஞ்ச் வந்து என்ன இருக்குன்னா மேப்ட் எலிமெண்ட் மட்டும் தானே ரேஞ்ச் ஆக முடியும். So 3 தான் வந்து இதோட ரேஞ்ச். ஒரே ஒரு எலிமெண்ட் மட்டும் தான் ரேஞ்ச்ல இருக்கு. Therefore this is a constant function. இத வந்து நம்ம constant function சொல்லலாம். Next, identity function. Let A be a non-empty set. Children, நீங்க பாருங்க ரெண்டு செட் எடுத்துக்கலாம். அவங்க ஒரு செட் தான் எடுக்கறாங்க. They are taking only one set. Let A be a non-empty set. Then the function f from A to A, okay, defined by f of x equal to x for all x belonging to A is called an identity function on A and is denoted by I base A. I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. This is not B. Please correct. This is A. This is set A. Okay. So f is a function from A to A. Again I say, I'm sorry, I've written it without knowing, I've written it B. Please understand that this is A. Okay. So see here, x is getting mapped to x, y to y, z to z, z to z. Therefore every element f of x equal to x. அந்தந்த எலிமெண்ட்டுக்கு அந்தந்த எலிமெண்டே இமேஜா வரதுதான் ஐடென்டிட்டி ஃபங்க்ஷன். The elements will have its own image. Understood? Okay. Next, there is another illustration here, 17. Check whether the function is an identity function. Set A is A, B, C. F is a function from A to A. Okay. See here. Set of elements of A is A, B, C. See, I have written A, B, C, A, B, C. F is a function from A to A. So, if this is an identity function, what will happen? A will get mapped to A, B to B, C to C. So, the function will be A, B, B, C, C. And hence, F is an identity function. Have you understood? So far we have seen constant function and identity function. Now let us see one more, which is known as real valued function. A function from A to B is called a real valued function when if the range of f is a subset of the set of all real numbers. Real valued real numbers. எப்போ range வந்து real numbers னுடைய subset இருக்குதோ அப்போ அது real valued function. Okay. So that is f of A, the range of A will be a subset of the real numbers. Real numbers na enna எல்லா நம்பர்ஸும் அதில் இருக்கும். இமேஜினரி நம்பர்ஸ் தவிர நேச்சுரல் நம்பர், ஹோல் நம்பர், இன்டிஜர்ஸ், ரேஷனல் நம்பர்ஸ், இர்ரேஷனல் நம்பர்ஸ் எல்லா நம்பர்ஸும் சேர்ந்தது தான் ரியல் நம்பர்ஸ். அதில் இமேஜினரி நம்பர்ஸ் மட்டும் இருக்காது. ஸோ ரியல் நம்பர்ஸுக்கு நம்ம ரேஞ்ச் வந்து ஒரு சப்செட்டாக இருந்ததுன்னா அது ரியல் வேல்யூட் ஃபங்க்ஷன். திங்கிங் கார்னர் இஸ் an identity function 1 to 1. ஒரு ஐடென்டிட்டி ஃபங்க்ஷன் வந்து 1 to 1 ஆனு கேட்குறாங்க. இப்போ ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன் எடுத்துக்கோங்க 1 2 3 அதே செட் தான் எடுத்துக்கணும் 1 2 3 1 to 1 2 to 3 3 2 to 2 3 to 3. Yes, an identity function is an 1 to 1 function. Why? Because every element will have the same element as its image. There will not be any change. So every element will have a different image. Therefore, this is a 1 to 1 function. Now let us go to this progress check. See children, this is state true or false. The answer is very simple. Looking into the question, you have to tell whether this is true or false. That's all. But to understand whether the given statement is true or false is very important. Why I have taken this for explanation is this will give you a good insight into the concepts that you have learnt. Okay. See, all one-to-one functions are onto functions. Do you think that all one-to-one will become onto? Huh? Yes? No, it cannot. This is false. How do you say it is false? I have given an example here. See, set A is having A, B, C, D as its element and B will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see A, B, C, D, everything is getting mapped to different elements. Therefore, this is 1 to 1. இங்க இருக்கிற ஒவ்வொரு எலிமெண்ட்டும் வெவ்வேறு எலிமெண்டோட மேப் ஆயிருக்கு. Therefore, this is 1 to 1. ஆனா இது on to வா கிடையாது. No. Why? Because 4 is not having any pre-image. What will happen? Range will be 1, 2, 3, 5. Whereas the codomain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Range is not equal to codomain. Therefore, this is an 1 to 1 function but not an onto function. Therefore, the answer is false. Have you understood? So, that is the explanation I have given here. Every element will have a unique image in B. Therefore, it is 1 to 1. But since 4 will not have any pre-image, or otherwise you can say range is not equal to codomain, therefore this cannot be an onto function. So if you get a question, if all the functions which are 1 to 1 are onto, the answer is no. Okay. Now what is the second question? Let us see. There will be no 1 to 1 function from A to B when n of A is equal to 4 and n of B is equal to 3. See what they are telling? When the cardinal number of set A is 4, means what? A will have 4 elements it seems. But the cardinal number of set B is 3. It means what? Set B will have only 3 elements. So one element is less than set A. In this case, can we get a 1 to 1 function? No, isn't it? When you have 4 elements here, here also you should have 4 elements. Then you will get different images so that you will get 1 to 1 function. But here there are only 3 elements. So naturally what happens? One element will become image for 2 elements. Okay, can you see here? 1 and 4 are having the same image C. 2 is getting A and 3 for B. So this is not 1 to 1. So they have told there will be no 1 to 1. So what they say is correct. So the answer is true. Why it is true? Because 1 and 4 are having the same image C. So when the cardinal number of 2 sets are not equal, this is another one hint that you can keep in your mind for answering multiple choices. When the cardinal number of 2 sets are not equal, there cannot be 1 to 1 function. Okay? I mean, the first set, if it is having more number of elements than the second set, definitely it cannot have 1 to 1. But if the elements in the second set are more than the first set, then you can have 1 to 1. Okay? Hope I am not confusing. See children, what I am trying to tell is, the cardinal number of set A should be less than the cardinal number of set B. In that situation, you can have 1 to 1. Otherwise, at least both the sets should have the same cardinal number, that time also there is a possibility of getting one-to-one function. But if the cardinal number of the first set is bigger than the cardinal number of the second set, you cannot get one-to-one function. Third one, all onto functions are one-to-one. What is this? They are telling all onto can be one-to-one. Is it true always? No da. Again it is false. How do we understand? By this example, 1, 2, 3, 4 is given in set A, in set B, A, B, C. Onto function means what? Range and codomain should be equal. Now all these elements are getting mapped. Okay? But you can see A, B, C will be the range. A, B, C is the codomain. Therefore, this is onto function. Are you all sure? Yes. But is it one-to-one? No, ma. Why? Because 1 and 4 are having the same image. So, all onto functions cannot become one-to-one function. This is what is shown here. Next one. Fourth question. There will be no onto function from A to B when the cardinal number of A is 4 and cardinal number of B is 5. This is also true. Why? Because we have seen for based on the cardinal numbers of two set how a function can be one-to-one. We have seen, just now we have seen. Now again, using the same cardinal number concept, we are going to check whether this is an onto function. The question given was, when the cardinal number of set A is 4 and the cardinal number of set B is 5, there cannot be onto functions. Yes, it is true. Why? Because this is one-to-one. Okay, but when you look into the codomain, the elements are A, B, C, D, E. 5 elements are there in the codomain. But what is the range? B, C, D, E. Only 4. So range is not equal to codomain. Therefore, this is not onto. Why? Because there is one extra element over here. One extra element in the codomain. So when there are 4 elements in A, and when there are 5 elements in B, definitely when the elements are getting mapped, one element will be left without a pre-image. Therefore, it cannot be onto. So, therefore, the answer was true. Next. If F is a bijection from A to B, then n of A should be equal to n of B. Now separately we have seen for one-to-one function and separately we have seen for onto function. Now putting them together, one-to-one, onto, because that is what is called as bijection. Am I right? Yes. Now for a function to be bijection, bijection means what? It has to be one-to-one and it has to be onto also. For that, what should be the condition? Cardinal number of set A should be equal to cardinal number of set B. Means n of A should be equal to n of B. N of A should be equal to n of B. I am taking 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. Each element is having different image. Therefore, this is one-to-one. And if you see the range is A, B, C, D, codomain is also A, B, C, D. Both are equal. Therefore, it is onto-one. So, we say when the cardinal number of two sets are equal, we get a bijection function. Bijection means what? One-to-one as well as onto. Bijection na ennaduma? One-to-one avum irukkanum, onto avum irukkanum. Adu eppa sathiyam? Cardinal number of A um, cardinal number of B um same ah irundha adu sathiyam. So, that is true. So, F is bijection function here. Now let us pass on to the next one. What is the next question? If n of A equal to n of B, then F is a bijection from A to B. Okay? Just because, see, when the function is bijection, we get n of A equal to n of B. That was the previous question. But in this question, just because n of A is equal to n of B, do we get all the functions as bijections? No. Vice versa is not true always, it is false. That is the reason we have written false. Children, please try to understand. When a function is bijection, அதாவது ஒரு function வந்து 1 to 1 ஆகும் on to ஆகும் இருந்தால், if it is bijection, then you will have n of A is equal to n of B. Cardinal number of A set will be equal to cardinal number of B set. That is true. Vice versa. உல்டாவா நீங்க நினைச்சு பாருங்க. Whenever n of A is equal to n of B, do we get the function as a bijection function? No, not always. That is what is explained here. So, whenever n of A is equal to n of B, F is a bijection from A to B? No, it is false. Why? Because see here, 4 elements are here. 4 elements are here. But look at the mapping. 1 and 2 are having the same image B. So this is not 1 to 1. And you could see that A is not having any pre-image in set A. So it is not onto also. So cardinal number of both the sets are equal. Both are having 4 elements. Doesn't matter. But if you see the mapping, if you see the function, it is not 1 to 1 also. It is not onto also. Then where to get bijection? So what they say is false. Whenever n of A is equal to n of B, we needn't have to get bijection function. So they are telling F is bijection. Therefore we say it is false. Okay, come down. Now the 7th one. All constant functions are bijection. How it is possible? Can we get constant function as bijection? The answer is false. Because we all know in a constant function all the elements will have how many images? Yes, only one image. So the image is not different. Therefore it is not 1 to 1. Again, A and C are not having pre-images. That is to say, range is not equal to the codomain. Therefore, it is not onto also. So, this is not 1 to 1 and it is not onto. Therefore, constant functions are not bijections. Okay? This is what we need to conclude. Now, let us get into example 1.17. Let f be a function from R to R, real number to real number, defined by f of x equal to 3x minus 5. They have given f of x. Now we need to find the values of A and B. Children, what are we supposed to do? We need to find the values of A and B given that A, 4 and 1, B belongs to that function. So take and write f is a function from R to R. And what is f of x? F of x is 3x minus 5. What they have given? A, 4, 1, B belongs to f, they are telling. A, 4, 1, B belongs to f. First let me take A, 4. First na edha mattum na eduthukuren. A, 4 endra ordered pair mattum da eduthukuren. Okay? What happens? A, 4 means, children, what is this? A, 4 means 4 is the image of A. Am I right? Am I right? Yes. 4 is the image of A. We know, no? If B is the image of A, how do we write? F of A equal to B. Yes? Do you all remember? Like that, if 4 is the image of A, how do we write? F of A is equal to 4. This you must be able to write. F of A is equal to 4. Now, we know that f of A is equal to 4. So, we need to write f of x equal to 3x minus 5. The given function we are supposed to write here. What is the given function? F of x equal to 3x minus 5. Because only when you write that, in the place of x, what are we supposed to substitute? A. Yes. So, f of A equal to, substitute A here, 3 into A minus 5, which is 3A minus 5. So, you got f of A as 3A minus 5. Now, what is f of A given? 4. Isn't it? From A comma 4, we have written f of A is 4. So, now in the place of f of A, you are supposed to write 3A minus 5. So, write here 3A minus 5 is equal to 4. Bring this minus 5 to the other side, it becomes plus 5. So, 3A equal to 9. A will be 9 divided by 3. So, A is 3. This is how we need to find the value of A. In the same manner, with the same procedure, you can find B also. See, you take the second ordered pair 1 comma B. What is meant by 1 comma B? B is the image of 1. Have you all understood? B is the image for 1. So, how do we write? We write this as f of 1 is equal to B. 1 is the input, B is the output. So, how do you write? F of 1 equal to B. Keep this as it is. Now, take f of x. F of x equal to 3x minus 5. But in the place of x, now what I am supposed to write? 1. So, f of 1 is equal to 3 into 1 minus 5. 3 minus 5, which is minus 2. But what is f of 1? F of 1 is b. Therefore, in the place of f of 1, if I write b, b is equal to minus 2. So, this is how we need to find the values of A and B. Are you all clear? Yes? Yes. Now, let us get into example 1.18. The distance, yes. The distance is given in what units? Kilometers. Travelled by a particle. So, a particle is travelling and it is travelling a distance, yes. In time t hours. For how many time, how much time it is travelling? It is travelling for t hours. So, there is a particle which is travelling in time t hours and covering a distance, yes. Now, all this is explained or given by the relation s of t is equal to t square plus t divided by 2. What is this? This is nothing but there is a particle travelling, right? It is travelling a distance of s kilometers in time t hours. So, with that distance and the time, they have given the function as s of t is equal to t square plus t by 2. Now, the question is, find the distance travelled by the particle. We are supposed to find the distance travelled by the particle. By how? After 3.5 hours. So, the particle is travelling like this. Slowly it is travelling like this. Okay. So, after 3.5 hours, what will be the distance travelled? This is one question. After 8 hours and 15 minutes, again, what will be the distance travelled? We are supposed to see. Is it 15 minutes or 25 minutes? Okay. Solution. The distance travelled by the particle in time t hours is given by s of t is equal to, what is the equation they have given, formula they have given, s of t is equal to t square plus t by 2. So, for this particular particle, this is the distance travelled. What is that? S of t equal to t square plus t by 2. Now, the first question is, after 3.5 hours, what is the distance travelled? Okay, so take t is equal to 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours means what? 3.5 hours. Now they have given us the equation s of t equal to t square plus t by 2. Now in the place of t, you are supposed to substitute 3.5. So what do you get? S of 3.5 is equal to 3.5 squared plus 3.5 divided by 2. 3.5 squared means you need to square these both. 3.5 into 3.5. When you multiply, you are getting 12.25. So add with 3.5, you are getting 15.75. When you divide that by 2, the answer is 7.875. So the distance travelled in 3.5 hours. So what is the distance travelled by the particle in 3.5 hours? It has travelled 7.875 kilometers. Have you understood? In the same manner, whatever time they give, that time if you substitute in the given equation, you will get the distance. Have you understood, children? Yes. Now, I have written here 8 hours 25 minutes. Please check in your question if it is 8 hours 15 minutes or 25. Whatever it is, that value you need to substitute, that much you understand. Okay. Now, I have written 8 hours and 25 minutes. So, t will be 8.25. So, in the same equation, wherever I have written t, there all I will substitute 8.25. So, what I will get? 8.25 the whole square plus 8.25 divided by 2. Now, 8.25 square means what? 8.25 into 8.25 plus 8.25 divided by 2. Multiply these both 8.25, 8.25, we will get 68.0625 plus 8.25. When you add these both, you are getting 76.3125. That divided by 2 gives you 38.15625. So the distance travelled by the particle in 8 hours 25 minutes will be 38.16 kilometers approximately. Yes. Now let us see the last example of this content. Example 1.19. But children, this is a different sum for what we have seen so far, and this is very important sum also, and this kind of sum you will get it in your 5 marks. Okay. If the function f from real value to real value, real numbers to real numbers is defined by, have you all noticed, so far wherever they defined the function, they have given just one rule only. For each sum, they have given f of x is so much, so much, so much like that. Over question f of x க்கு ஒரே ஒரு condition அல்லது ஒரு rule தான் கொடுத்திருந்தாங்க. ஆனா see here how many they have given kanna? They have given 3 times they have given. What are they? F of x is 2x plus 7 is one function. F of x is x squared minus 2 is another one. And f of x is 3x minus 2 is another one. When do we take which function? When do we take? Is the question now. For that, they have given a condition. We need to take f of x is equal to 2x plus 7 when x is less than minus 2. So, whenever x is less than minus 2, you will take 2x plus 7. Second, when x lies between minus 2 and 3, you will take x square minus 2. Similarly, when x is greater than or equal to 3, you will take 3x minus 2. So, you have to decide. Who will decide? You should decide. Children, students should decide which function to take and when to take. Okay? And no, you first try to understand this concept. Then after understanding, you can find the answers for this. Okay. To understand, let me take and write the question once again. F of x is equal to 2x plus 7 when x is less than minus 2. X square minus 2 when x lies between minus 2 and 3. 3x minus 2 when x is greater than or equal to 3. Children, for your better understanding, I have written the interval here. Can you all see? What is that? The first interval what I have written here is x less than minus 2. See, no equal to sign over here. No equal to sign. Please don't include minus 2 because no equal to sign. So, less than minus 2. From the number line, see, I have drawn the number line. Have you seen? 0 in the middle, positive numbers and negative numbers. Now, what are the numbers that are less than minus 2? Tell me. Minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7 keeps going. So, first interval is minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, etc. Okay. Now, the second one. Second one, how to understand? X lies between minus 2 and 3. Equal to sign is given for minus 2. So, it means you will include minus 2 because equal to sign is given. Equal to sign is not given here. So, don't include 3. Before 3, whatever number is there, that much you have. So, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. ஏனா 3 ஏன் இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணக்கூடாது? ஏனா இங்க ஈக்குவல் டு சைன் கிடையாது. ஓகே, அப்ப நீங்க எதெல்லாம் தான் எடுத்துக்க முடியும்? -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 இதுதான் நம்மளுடைய செகண்ட் இன்டர்வல். பாருங்க, -2 ல இருந்து இங்க பாருங்க, இந்த ஸ்கொயர் பிராக்கெட் போடுறேன். ஏனா ஸ்கொயர் பிராக்கெட்னா அந்த நம்பர் இன்க்ளூட் ஆகுது. இங்க வந்து சிம்பிள் பிராக்கெட் தான் போடுறேன், கர்வ் பிராக்கெட் தான் போடுறேன். அப்படினா என்ன அர்த்தம்? இங்க அந்த நம்பர் இன்க்ளூட் ஆகல, இது வரைக்கும் தான். So -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 தான் வந்து செகண்ட் இன்டர்வல். தேர்ட் இன்டர்வல் x greater than or equal to 3. Equal to இங்க இருக்கு, it is included. So from 3, greater than 3 means what? 3, 4, 5, 6 like that, it will keep on going. So I put a square bracket here to say that 3 is included. So from here 3 onwards, all this will become your third interval. So first, understanding the concept of interval is very important. Only then you will be able to proceed with the questions. Hope you all have understood? Yes? By the given conditions, I have taken the interval and that interval I have marked in this number line. Now I am going to go into first subdivision, f of 4. I want f of 4. So in the place of x, what is there? 4 is there. Now I have to search this 4 in the 3 intervals I have written. Where I have written 4? Have I written here in the first interval? Can you see 4? No. Do you see 4 in the second interval? No. Do you see 4 in the third interval? Yes. So which interval I should take? I should take the third interval because 4 lies here. So if 4 is available in this interval, which function I will take? I will take the third function. Okay, so what is the function? 3x minus 2. Have you all understood how to take one function out of the 3? Yes. F of x equal to 3x minus 2 I have taken. Now in the place of x I can substitute 4. So this becomes 3 into 4 minus 2. 12 minus 2, the answer is 10. Now I want f of minus 2. What I want? F of minus 2. Find out where is minus 2. First interval? No. Yes, second interval it is available. Minus 2 is available in the second interval. So what function I will take? Second function I will take. What is the second function? X squared minus 2. So when x is minus 2, I will take f of x as x squared minus 2. Understood? So now in the place of x, if I substitute minus 2 the whole squared minus 2. 4 minus 2, the answer will be 2. Yes, go to the third one. Children, I want f of 4 plus 2 into f of 1. So first let me find f of 4. Already I have found here. 4 lies in the third interval. So I have taken the third function f of x equal to 3x minus 2. In the place of x I am substituting 4. So the answer I am getting is 10. I need to now find out f of 1 I need to find out. What is that I need to find out? F of 1. Okay. Then I can do the sum. Now f of 1. So again you have to go back to the previous slide. Okay. And then you should see in which interval 1 is available. 1 will be available in which interval? The second interval. So if 1 is available in the second interval, which function you will take? Second function. So f of x equal to x squared minus 2. Now in the place of x, you substitute 1. You will get 1 squared minus 2, 1 minus 2. The answer is minus 1. So now you have found out f of 4 and f of 1. But what is the question asked? It is 2 into f of minus 1 we want. 2 into f of 1 we want. So f of 1 we know it is minus 1. Please note here, this is not minus, children, this is plus. Okay, writing mistake. Please pardon me, excuse me. This is 2 into f of 1 plus 1. So we know that f of 1 is minus 1. So 2 into f of 1 means what? 2 into minus 1, which is minus 2. Okay. So for our question we want f of 4 plus 2 into f of 1. f of 4 is 10. 2 into f of 1 is minus 2. So 10 minus 2, the answer is 8. Have you all understood? Yes. Now the fourth subdivision, which is the last subdivision I believe. Yes. We want f of 1, we want f of 4 and we also require f of minus 3. So 3 times we need to find all this. Then only you can compute what they have asked. First let me find f of 1. Already we have seen x equal to 1 lies in which interval? It lies in the second interval. So what is the equation for the second interval? F of x equal to x squared minus 2. So in the place of x, now you put 1. 1 squared minus 2, the answer is minus 1. Next, what do you want? You want f of 4. What do you want? You want f of 4. X is equal to 4. That lies in which interval? It lies in the third interval. So you have to take the third function. What is the third function? F of x equal to 3x minus 2. So in the place of x, you put 4. 3 into 4 minus 2, 12 minus 2, 10. But we require minus 3 into f of 4 as per the question. We require minus 3 into f of 4. So here itself, let me multiply minus 3 and f of 4 is 10. So minus 3 into 10, the answer is minus 30. Next, in the denominator, we had f of minus 3. So let me find out for x is equal to minus 3. Check where is minus 3 in the interval. You will find x is equal to minus 3 in the first interval. So you will take the first function. What is the first function? 2x plus 7. In the place of x, you are substituting minus 3. You will get 2 into minus 3 as minus 6. Minus 6 plus 7, the answer will be 1. So we have found out all those 3 components. Now let us see the question. What is the question? F of 1 minus 3 into f of 4 divided by f of minus 3. We have found out the value for f of 1 as minus 1. For minus 3 into f of 4, we have found out as minus 30. Divided by f of minus 3 is 1. Minus 1 minus 30 becomes minus 31. Divided by 1, the answer is minus 31. Hope you all are clear. This last sum what we have seen, it is very important, some children. because they will give you some 3 or 4 types of function with 4 different intervals that will be given in a symbolic form. You have to understand and write those intervals at the side of the page, so that you draw the number line, so that once you understand what is the interval, you can mark those interval in the number line and take and write those numbers. Okay, so depending upon the question they ask, you will choose the interval first. So according to the interval, you will choose the function and do the calculation. Hope you have understood, learned well, and do this. In the next session, we will see exercise 1.4. Thank you.